Welcome to the Mexicans Only podcast with your host, Aaron. Today's guest, me. So today I just wanted to recap on Strasse and kind of maybe give my vision because I don't think I've really explained why Strasse, why we do it in North Carolina, and it's going to be brought to you by Mezcal. Not really. I actually thought this was some Mezcal that Ryan was talking about. It was on Strasse this year. And it's not. It's like Bozil. I have it's like Pascal. So, but Mezcal, I do that. So let's do it in order. I think the first thing would be why Strasse? Why did I want to do something like that? Well, I think the main part is just to get the Metzger collective together. The turbos, the GT cars, and just kind of meet from all over. I really want to get some, California, Europe. I want to make this a destination type thing because I think these roads that I know about in North Carolina and the ones that have been shown from the locals are some of the best things in America. Definitely, they're definitely world class. I would think from what I've experienced in other near the Nürburgring, other places like that. Like these roads are really good. So the whole thing for Strasse was getting us together, getting all the different backgrounds because it's every time I've done this now that we've done this twice and looking to this again in 2026 in August. Doing that because I think this year I think September is just too hard of a get for a lot of people. But the main premise was just to get us together and put together an event like I've done in the past with leaders that I know that are locals. So that takes pressure off you. Hey, you need to lead. And then, in a group and roads you're not familiar with. And then also, my idea is to take all the stress out of it. So that's the whole booking, the hotel, planning all the food, planning the lunches, making sure you have trailer space, making sure everything is planned out as much as I can. Outside the weather, if I can control that, it'd be great. But so that's always a roll of the dice. But I figure like we've kind of hit the time of the year where it's good. And it's been great weather. This year's was even better because it was kind of that September chill month. A little chillier, still a little warmer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little chillier. I think October may be the perfect fall month. But that's when you start running into trouble with every other event that's planned. So that's the other problem is that's why I want to get this event into an August time frame. That way I can get it out of that messy September, October, everybody has an event type style. And if you don't know, this is a smaller event, so it's not going to be 200 cars, never. The biggest that I'm ever going to have is as much as the lodge can hold, and that's 29 at this point, and they just expanded a few months ago for a couple more rooms. So back to the why, and the why is just wanting to get people together, like I said, to get people on these roads and with people that know them, that have been doing this for on these roads, locals for 30 years. And also the things that I thought I'd known some of the roads and I'm still discovering new stuff and they're, gaining trust and getting to know, oh yeah, hey, this is one that they don't really show to many people and here it is. And makes for some fun times because you can hear about the dragon. That's a draw. But when we do the dragon, I do what it's called a breakfast run. That's what I call it. 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, 0 people are up there at the dragon. Not even the photographers are up most of the time. Normally we'll come through there and nobody will be even set up. And it'll be a tiptoe through there because it's going to be almost sunrise. And then as we come back down, it'll be lit. And then we do breakfast and then breakfast drivers meeting and then on to the fun routes of the day, which I release every day and kind of do that on purpose. I know that people like to know, get to figure out what they're doing, but I also like the spontaneity of okay. Because really in reality, you're going to look at it, you're probably never going to follow that map. You're going to follow whoever's in, who's leading. And they're going to know what's going on. But it's there if you absolutely got lost, which is, we keep the groups small too. That's the other thing for keeping the whole event small. Max group size 9 cars. So per group, and that would break that up. So it wouldn't just be, even if we had almost 30 cars there, it wouldn't be one group of 30. I'd never do that. I'd bring in multiple leaders so we could at least have a 9 to 10 car max plus a leader. But bring that in to say that I wanted to have an easy event. You come in, enjoy it, network. And for me to meet people in person too, because the Instagram's kind of gotten bigger than I thought it would be. And I like driving in the mountains. So there's that. And then I don't think enough people have experienced, I mean, like I said, you hear the dragon and it's like, that's cool, that's a draw up there. But so many roads that are a 10 out of 10 over the dragon for sure. And that's what I want to show. And then also getting to get to know the locals and the restaurateurs and the people around that area, and bring cool people and let you experience it. Like, and just having to show up and not do anything. And hey, here's dinner. Dinner's when? All right, it's this time. Oh, lunch is where? All right, we're there. It's all taken care of. That's why I do the one price the way I do it. And we'll see if I change that up. I might do something a little different where work the deal with the hotel, get as big a discount as I can with that lodge, and then pass it on, and maybe we can make the pricing a little less than it has been in the past. So I think maybe that was some of it today, some of it this year where it wasn't maxed out. So I don't know, that's just thinking out loud. So that's the premise behind it, like I said, was all those things. And to have an event where it does get maxed out, it's 29 people, and we have the best time ever. And it's not always going to be the same thing. I changed up the restaurants this year, new places, even places the leaders that are bringing that are local that they've never been. So there's that type of thing. And then also working with the lodge now that I've done this 3 years now, almost 4 years with this lodge, different events. I mean, Strasse is this the second year, but I've done other events there. They also work with us. So the difference, we had a smaller group than we had the year before, but what that meant was now we're going to cater anymore. So we worked with a chef, and we set menus for a couple of nights where it's like crusted trout and then ribeyes and different things like that. And not only did we do that, but I normally cover a couple of drinks. And when I say a couple, I normally cover all the alcohol in the end. It's what I normally do. I just figure that's something cool and a way for me to give back and make it easy. You don't have to see a bill. Just get it over with. But we also go back to the cabin. There was my dad brought the whiskey one from Swine 11 last year, which was a single barrel that they had picked and then had a bunch of bottles made, and they had the logo on there. And he kept teasing Josh Gags about it because Josh had to miss out because he had a work thing this year, unfortunately, so he couldn't make it. But we still sent him a couple pictures as we were sitting in the cabin on the porch and knocking back some bourbon and mezcal and some Coors. And the other thing is we do a Coors cool down, which is kind of like a little, not really pregame, but just debrief after we get back from doing all the roads from the backside of lunch, and just hang out. And then after that, do dinner. And then after that, chill. I mean, we weren't out. I don't think we even, well, like one of the nights we were out kind of up a little late, but nothing crazy because you gotta have your wits about you the next day because it's going to be a good 6 hours of driving, and not 6 hours with a bunch of time, in between getting to roads. It's like road after road after road. But what we've also built in is a bunch of pull-offs and things like that. We know where you're going to want to take pictures here. We're going to want to take pictures here. Like, it's just, we built in some balance, but it's a lot of driving. It's no like bird watching, I can tell you that. At least this year it was I feel like the pace was even better than it was the year before. Like it was good, but this year was pretty, not aggressive, but it was good. And that's another thing too, is bringing in these local leaders. They're able to gauge everybody's skill level, and that's why some of the things you'll see when you sign up It's like, hey, is it your first time doing a rally? Is it, you know, what kind of experience do you have? Because that helps us gauge at least the initial, like, all right, group one, two, three. And that doesn't mean if you're in like the third group that it would be a slow group. That just means it's a little less fast than the fastest group. And believe me, you'll be by the time the second day rolls around. I don't think I'm going to do 3 days this year, or this next time. I think 3 days was a lot. I was tired. I didn't think I was going to be tired after 3 days, but it was a lot. Even though we got to hit a lot of things that I wanted to do, and we probably could have done it in 2 days. I just figured that people like to drive, and you kind of knock off the rust if you haven't been in the mountains in a while that first day, and the second day you kind of get comfortable, and the third day it's even more of a comfort level of learning the car. And that's the other thing too, is having turbo cars follow turbo cars and GT cars with GT cars. You get to learn and see your car kind of in the motions, see it moving, and then seeing like, okay, is that braking area going to be something where I can take that braking area maybe a little deeper than I thought about? Let me test that out. Well, he's not getting his brakes here. Maybe I can go there. Or maybe, I didn't feel like, and then that's also a thing too, is I have the pull off. Hey man, what gear were you in? And coming off that, or and like what gear are you staying in third? Are you hitting second? Like that sort of thing. To kind of helps you learn your car and build a confidence that you wouldn't have normally, because I mean, if you're following something that's totally different, you can't really gauge. You can't have any gauge off of it besides what you're feeling in the car. I just think it helps you. It's another way to help you feel out your car and enjoy it even more. And then the next time you come up there, it's even you can push it. And you don't have to go 10 tons. You're not getting a trophy. There's no Lamar seat at the end. That's those common things. This is not gonna happen. But it just helps you enjoy your Porsche that much more. And then two, like changing settings. Like for this year, Ryan was wondering. He's like, man, is kind of stiff, or it wasn't stiff enough. And then we figured out how his rebounds and his compression worked on his setup that he has. Showed him where his rear adjustments were, and then we would kind of hit a road and then adjust, and then hit another road, adjust, and then by the time it was over, I mean, I feel like he got into a pretty good place. I feel like he was definitely close to my bumper. So I feel like he figured it out. But those are those other things that you just don't think about happening, but also something that helps being a cohesive GT Turbo Metzger fam. So, and to give you a layout of, I don't know if you haven't paid attention, like how it went this year. This year was 3 days of driving, 2 days of driving, and 1 day of driving. So I kind of split it up. If you wanted to choose your own type thing, I don't think I'm going to do that just because it's a lot on the lodge as far as coordination goes. But so, for instance, like it was Monday, we did cocktail evening. Cocktail evening was like wings, sliders, hors d'oeuvres, and then I covered drinks. And then it went into day one of driving, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were 3 full days of driving. Lunches, dinners, and then there was the farewell dinner, which we do raffles. And so raffles will be like FCB Euro, stuff I sourced from people around there. Like I had Jeff Sword sign something the year before, and I was able to get a Andreas Bringer signed 4.0 this year, and that's type of raffles that we'd like to give away. And then plus I always find somebody in the industry, because I like bourbon and mezcals and things, to maybe donate a bottle of something you may not see everywhere. That sort of thing. But that's kind of how it went. So cocktail kickoff, and then 3 days of driving, farewell dinner, and then Friday breakfast. Kind of just peace out. I still do a dragon run that Friday morning. Actually, I don't know if I did it that Friday morning. Take that back. Maybe I skipped it. I was tired. No, but that's kind of the lay of the land, how it went. And then this next, I think for August, for 2026, I think I'm just going to do 2 days of driving. So similar thing, just minus a day and be out on Thursday, and give Friday, Saturday, Sunday to be the time getting back, or extend on, because there's other things that are happening around the area too. You could also tack something on. Maybe there's a race. If I know about something, I'll let everybody know ahead of time. Something new for this year, we changed some radios. I have some longer range Baofeng radios, and that was kind of, I think that kind of worked better. I don't know if anybody's ever used radios back and forth, but it's even if you're, feels like even if you're on somebody's bumper, it's like they're so crackly and don't work as well as you'd expect. But I'd give those a try. And normally that's the other thing too is I have a mobile app that I give all the details of the entire route, like menus, maps, all the recommendations to do beforehand, even routes to get to the lodge, that sort of thing. Um, so I try to be as informative as I can, and especially with email updates and things like that. So I think that's pretty much everything for the episode. Just wanted to kind of lay out Strasse. Hopefully, it wasn't too scatterbrained, and kind of in an order, and also inform and for things that you may not have known. If you have any other questions, DM me, Instagram, or email me, Aaron. You can email, just DM me. It's maybe easier. Or Aaron at Red Sport Adventures is my the other email I'll answer to. Outside of that, August 24th to the 27th of next year is going to be Strasse 3. I was not calling Strasse 3, but be the third year. I already had people saying they're going to come back. They're coming back from this year, the year before. So I hope it's going to fill out. So we'll see if it fills out. Well, if you need anything else, need something Strasse related, Metzger related, let me know. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next one.